So you're going to begin by taking 100% cotton. You could find it at a fabric store. If it's all sold out like we experienced, you could try a 3XL men's shirt, or women's shirt. Now we're going to clip it together, that's optional, with the pattern on the inside, and we're using the back to trace this template, which I'll provide below. Then you're going to cut it. Once you've cut it, you're going to take the inside template. We've taken cardboard and traced it out, and then you're going to mark here 1 centimeter on either side, 1 centimeter on the bottom, and then 2 centimeters up top. It's more like inches, but you could do it as small as a centimeter. So you're just going to trace that out. And now we're going to take our inside layer. We've just chosen a white fabric and repeat the same exact steps that you did with the colored fabric. I'm going to align that inner template again, trace it, and if you notice that little arrow pointing up on the cardboard, that's the direction of the top of the mask. So it might be worth just making a little mark on both your inner cloth and your outer cloth what direction the top is, and that's the one with 2 centimeters worth of space. Now we're taking it to the sewing machine, and you're going to sew all the way from the top to the bottom of the curved edge, and just the curved edge here. Right, notice that little reverse sewing motion at the end just to secure that tack. Now you're going to take a scissor and make 3 little triangles on that same edge. Be careful not to cut the thread, but what this is going to do is make sure that when you flip the mask inside out, there is enough space for it to kind of curve neatly. See, if you turn it inside out, the fabric just touches where you cut out little triangles, and you could do them about an inch apart. You don't have to be perfect. Now we're going to take it to the ironing board and make it a little neater and iron it down. And my mom's very neat, so she's going to flip it inside out and just check to make sure that the outside is also ironed, just to be neat at the seam. Okay, and now we're going to take it back to the sewing machine, and you're going to leave about 1/2 centimeter off from the center on both sides, both the left and the right side. And what we're doing is sewing down those flaps. And my mom here is using a darker thread just so the camera can see, but you could use a white thread if you're using a light fabric. But see how she's just sewed down the flaps so that it's not just flying around everywhere. That's what it looks like on the outside now. Okay, so now the top side with 2 centimeters, we are going to flip it upside down facing you and make these small triangle cuts about 1 centimeter off from the center. That's going to help it fold. And she's going to fold it up to the line that we traced. So making those little triangles made it easier for her to fold it up neatly and then iron it over. After you've ironed those flaps, going to fold it up one more time. So this fold is going to bring it past the line that we traced from the template. Okay, now we're going to run it through the sewing machine on the inner edge and then just do a little reverse stitch here to hold it in place. Now she's taking this little needle thing that looks like a rooster to me and popping out the thread that's in between this little center slit that we just folded down from the top. And what that's doing is making an opening for the wire to go in that we're gonna use to press up against the bridge of your nose. Taking those little twisty things that come with bread bags and just kind of line it up and mark with pins where it ends, and then run it through the sewing machine because that'll stop the wire from feeding all the way to the end of the mask. It'll keep it kind of in place. So we're just sewing it to the seam. Then clean up the little thread. And you're going to bend the wire and feed it through that hole. But it makes sense earlier about why we were popping those threads out. It's so that this part can happen. So just feed it through, and when you wash your mask, it's a good idea to take out this wire, and you might need to grab a tweezer to take it out because look, it's virtually invisible, but it makes a big difference. Now we're going to take the white cloth, and we did the same exact thing, but we're taking it right side against each other. So the side that you want to show, you're going to actually face it towards each other and center it and clip it in place. So apparently this part is very important that it's aligned in the center, so make sure the center seams are on the money. Once you've done that, you could clip it in place, and we're gonna run it through the sewing machine on the bottom, not the top where we just put the wire, but on the bottom. Alright, now you could remove the top pin, and the sides should still be left, but we're going to leave the top open and take these elastics. We've cut them in 20 centimeter lengths, and you're going to kind of drop it in the middle of that pocket there. The mask is still inside out, and hold it to the corners. You could clip it or pin it, whatever is more comfortable for you. Alright, and we're gonna make our necessary adjustments. You might find it easier with the tweezer. And you are going to run it through the sewing machine where we traced the line before. It's hard to see because our marker is so light, it's a light blue, but you'll have quite a bit of room left. But now she has taken a scissor after sewing it and trimmed off the excess. Now here we're just making a couple slits again so that it curves easier, and then rounding out the edges. This is still the bottom, okay? She almost did the top, but you're not supposed to do the top, so we're rounding out the edges of the bottom, and then from the top we're gonna flip it inside out, and voila. I'm gonna tug on the elastic a little bit and have it all come together. Now what she's going to do is sew along the edge there about a centimeter in, and then all along the bottom edge, more close to the edge there. And what that's going to do is make it all neat, just like that. And she sewed in a little more on the sides, but on the bottom she was pretty close to the edge. Now this pocket opens up for your disposable filter. We're going to add the template in the link below, and we've used air vent filters, so if you get your hands on those are good. The efficacy of all different kinds of filters are obviously up in the air. These are no N95 masks, but a basic alternative to these are coffee filters. Now I'm about to bless you guys with my big cheeks, face cheeks. And don't worry, I'm not the test subject for all of these. This is just for video purposes. But here we are. There she is, the happy mother producer. Thanks for watching.